So, everyone, we have some online left gossip to bring you right now. This has been making the rounds online a little bit. The Vanguard guys over there on their YouTube channel invited Aaron Maté on their show to settle up a beef that they had. So here's some footage from that discussion,
Worst
and then we will give our
battle
take.
Ever.
Yeah, right, exactly. The Vanguard guys, because they've built up a channel pretty much exclusively commenting on other online left media battles, beefs, whatever, right? We do a little bit of that, but almost all of our show is not about that. We
do it for
hardly
the
any
suckers,
right,
for the
exactly.
rubes.
Right, we do it to get the, to get the likes and the clicks and the shares, and we have to play the algorithm, right? We have to play the game, right? But they do almost exclusively that kind of stuff. And Aaron Maté is an award-winning journalist. He's a writer first and foremost. So, he's kind of above that kind of sort of gossip. They have Aaron Maté on to grill him about Ben Norton's take that Aaron Maté is too soft on Jackson Hinkle because Jackson Hinkle is too soft on people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. Did you follow that?
And
if
Putin.
you did, congratulations.
They kept going on about Putin.
And about Putin, of course. All right, so let's just take a look at this. And look, this is going to be a fun little segment to play here, but there is some value in this because this just shows how so much of left discourse has gotten so high school and so immature and so much about exclusively who you talk to and who you don't talk to and why or why not, as if that's actual politics, which of course it's not. So here's some footage from this exchange.
That's the politics of the powerless.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Her previous or former colleague, Ben Norton, coming out and making some pretty spicy statements out here, kind of outline what he sees as a problem with this new, faction of the left, quote unquote, that, you have kind of cozied up to recently. He says that there's a faction of people who claim...
Wait, what? What have I cozied up to?
Right away, he's like, wait, what? Because this is not the world he's in. Aaron Maté is a journalist. He's a writer. He covers real things. He covers war and peace. He's like, what? Wait, hold on, what? Ben Norton said that people like me cozy up to who? For what?
He says that there's a faction of people who claim...
Wait, what? What have I cozied up to?
This, populist right faction of the left, if you even want to call it that at this point. People like Jackson Hinkle, who Benjamin Norton was beefing with directly. Again, we can get your response in a second, Aaron. But
well, no, I think I should respond now because you just accused me of cozying up to what did you call it? The populist what?
The populist right left.
Okay, and what do you mean by cozying up to the populist right? What exactly?
Idiocy.
I think for one, consistently platforming, coddling, and defending a guy like Jackson Hinkle, who's now undeniably a right winger, and who has undeniably coddled and praised figures like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, even Donald Trump himself, now claiming that there's some...
Okay, so he coddles a guy like Jackson Hinkle, who coddles people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. Talk about McCarthyism.
Well, it's the transitive property of coddling.
Right. Well, exactly. I mean, this is like
I took a whole class on that for my degree.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, this is like, have you or anyone you've known coddled a right winger? Have you coddled, sir? You have not coddled. Okay. Do you know anyone who's coddled? Have you coddled someone who's coddled? Do you coddle the coddlers, sir? I mean, just this whole notion of coddling is just ridiculous. This is just a way of sort of stigmatizing the act of conversing with people. What do you mean coddling? There's no such thing as coddling. This is nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's just masturbatory online nonsense.
Yeah, they're a couple of assholes. They are the vanguard. They're the vanguard of this weird fusion group that came in with the Sanders 2020 campaign. We've discussed this. In 2016, you really didn't have these assholes. It was really purely a movement of economic leftists, and the goals, the intentions, the focus, the agenda was very clear. In 2020, you got these people who kind of had a shit-lib sensibility, who believed in Medicare for all. And right. These guys I think that's the niche they've carved for themselves in this podcast and YouTube world. They've become the vanguard of the shit libs who are for Medicare for all.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, even Donald Trump himself now claiming that they're somehow anti-deep state and that they're the real populists in the government and that these people are worth collaborating with. Exactly what Ben Norton talks about here. And also,
okay, so let me respond. First of all, I know Jackson. I've seen some of Jackson's stuff, and I like a lot of stuff he's done. For example, he called out the OPCW's Syria cover-up scandal and did a great job doing that, and debated Vosh about that. And I think he did a great job. And he says a lot of stuff that I agree with. He said some stuff I don't agree with, but I don't expect. But what I've really done with Jackson is defend him from being censored. He was recently demonetized. Hold on a second.
I know.
Yeah, hold on a second. He was demonetized on YouTube. And I thought that was ridiculous. And that's how I've defended Jackson, is defending him from censorship. You want to call that coddling the right? I'm challenging censorship, which is a very right-wing thing to do, which is censor dissenting voices.
Right.
And Jackson worked very hard and built up a channel by himself. He's a young guy. And he got demonetized for, I think, having a dissenting point of view about the Ukraine proxy war. So absolutely he's worth defending over that. And if you have a problem with, I mean, look,
that's not what I was asking, Aaron.
Have you guys debated Jackson?
I don't know what that has to do with anything, Aaron. I'm asking you your opinion on Benjamin
What
Norton's
do you have to do with anything? What? Wait, you have.
Do I want to talk to the guy about whether or not Putin is based? Change his mind. LOL. The Diet Crowder is a.
You just accused me of.
Look,
I'm sorry if you didn't like the way we accused you. I'm just trying to get your opinion.
I'm trying to characterize you accurately, if that's okay.
I'm trying to get your opinion on Benjamin Norton's statement.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm happy to give you my opinion on that, but you made an allegation against me first, which I'd like to respond to, and I'm doing now. So if you have a problem with me, you think I'm nefariously coddling Jackson, you should have him on.
He's a nefarious coddler.
Maybe that will happen, Aaron.
Why try to do it through? Why try to? So I'm asking you: have you invited him on to debate?
What does that have to do with anything?
Sorry?
What does that have to do with anything, Aaron? I'm asking you your opinion.
Why? What do you mean? Okay, listen.
You asked for an example.
He can't help but laugh. What kind of idiocy is that? What do you mean? What does it have to do with anything? You brought him up.
Right.
You brought him up.
Right.
You said Benjamin Norton is accusing you of coddling people like Jackson Hinkle. Aaron Maté says, well, I wasn't coddling him. I was just saying he shouldn't have been censored. That's not coddling. And now they're saying, well, what does he have to do with anything?
Of the new right wing, Aaron. That's what we gave you.
Okay, hold on a second.
We brought him up because you asked for an example. Don't pretend that we brought him up to dissuade. We've had you on for 35 minutes.
I asked you to
Exactly. I gave you an example you wanted, and now you're acting as if that's not relevant. I mean, it's just I don't follow.
Substantiate your claim.
Yeah, by giving you two examples. We gave you two examples of the guy that runs around taking his shirt off saying Putin's base. Changed my mind.
It's based, yo.
So exactly. When you ask me what does that have to do with what does that have to do with anything, that's your own example. So I'm saying
that's your own example.
I'm tainted somehow by being friends with Jackson. You should have him on and challenge him.
I never said tainted, Aaron. I never said tainted.
Oh, okay.
I literally never did. I'm asking for your opinion of your former colleague's analysis
now you're
of the populist right, which you have cuddled up to.
Okay. Now you're being disingenuous. Because
how am I being disingenuous? Come on, man. I'm literally asking your opinion on this.
You're trying. Okay, listen.
And I got to say,
don't hide behind what
Aaron's patience is incredible.
Oh, yeah. No, but
this is like having a couple of fucking chihuahuas pulling on your pant leg.
Well, he says here, I mean, he does kind of lay down the law here a little bit.
Which you have cuddled up to.
Okay. Now you're being disingenuous. Because
how am I being disingenuous? Come on, man. I'm literally asking your opinion on this.
You're trying. Okay, listen. Own your comment. Don't hide behind what you said. You're trying to impugn me for your words. Hold on a second. Okay, now you're pretending you weren't trying to impugn me. Give me a break. Own your comment. So when you ask me, what does Jackson have to do with anything? You brought him up. So I'm saying, if you have a problem with him, if you have a problem with him, then debate him yourself.
You're trying to do
hold on a second. And absolutely, I will defend him from being censored.
What he means there by own your comment is Gavin was citing Benjamin Norton impugning Aaron Maté, and then acting as if Gavin wasn't also trying to impugn Aaron Maté. Well, Gavin was saying Benjamin Norton is impugning people who are coddling.
Yeah, he's not even directly impugning Aaron Maté in these tweets, is he?
That's true. No, you're right.
He's making a general observation.
That's right.
About the left, and they're connected. They're saying you're who he's talking about without any particular evidence for that either.
Right. Thank you very much for pointing that out, because I almost made a fuck up there. But yes, you're right. Benjamin Norton wasn't impugning Aaron Maté. Benjamin Norton was impugning some general online left personality. They're acting as if Norton is talking about him when we don't know that that is the case.
I have to now hear what Ben has to say. In general, do I think...
You didn't see his comments about Jackson? You didn't see?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, well, Jackson called him the skinny Vosh and did a video trying to attack him for their difference of opinion. If you want to talk about canceling...
Is that so? Did. See, they don't realize they're talking to someone who doesn't spend 16 hours a day on Twitter and on YouTube staying up to date on the latest beefs between these fucking idiots. Like, oh, you didn't see what Ben Norton... You didn't see that... Jackson Hinkle called Ben Norton a skinny Bosch.
I mean, and that's where that's where I say these people, they're like daywalkers. They're like, shit lib progressives, like that whole being shocked and offended. And did you hear what he said? That's really a quality I associate with the shit libs, and they're bringing it into our arena.
That's true,
and it's disgusting, and it's not productive. And
it's worse than not productive. It's counterproductive. They got really hit hard on their comment section with people saying this is why the left loses all the time. This is exactly why, and they're right.
Ben Norton responded. Here, let me pull it up specifically so you can see it, because it's not just about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know that that's easy to go off. Here we go. Ben Norton says, laughing at these infantile smears from a genocidal flag-waving chauvinist and grifter who constantly praises fascist U.S. politicians. That's his words, not mine. Hinkle knows nothing about politics outside of the colonial U.S. borders he loves. He endorsed a fascist Colombian millionaire who praised Hitler. Goes on to talk a little bit about that and how, Jackson said that Gustavo Petro was not a leftist, but this literal, follower of Adolf Hitler, self-described, is. So, I see issue with that. And again, if you're, if you're going to push back and, attack and cancel people like Amy Goodman, I think it's fair for you to pull.
Fucking great.
Who constantly praises fascists. I see issue with that. And again, if you're, if you're going to push back and, attack and cancel people, millionaire who praised Hitler.
I mean, this is
a little bit about that.
That's great.
Literal, if you're going to push back and.
When we get our soundboard going,
what a little fucking douche. Oh my god.
When we get our soundboard going, we have to put that on there. When we get into an argument, sometimes we disagree on things. We got to just hit it.
Wow.
Funny.
Like even if you're debating,
I see issue with that.
Who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? Who are you, you little shit? Like, even if you want to debate or disagree with him, to treat somebody who's done so much more for the left and done such significant journalism, where do you get off talking to him or treating him in that way?
Yeah, screaming.
Like even if I agreed with you, I would feel that way.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Literal, follower of Adolf Hitler, self-described, is. So, I see issue with that. And again, if you're, if you're going to push back and, attack and cancel people like Amy Goodman, I think it's fair for you to point out when people that you're in league with and have coddled, when they do, messy things too.
Okay. First of all, I've never canceled Amy Goodman.
You're the one that used the word canceled. I never said you tried to cancel anyone. You said we were trying to cancel people.
Okay. You just accused me of canceling Amy Goodman, and I've not done that at all. Now, this Columbia thing is a good example.
Aaron
I saw Jackson say that on Jimmy's show.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that at all.
Pretty chill.
Jimmy then brought on someone else, I think, a couple of days later to do a rebuttal segment, and they corrected it. So, but I just find the premise of this, now you're bringing me on to ask me about my views of other people, not my own views. I agree with a lot of things I hear Jackson say. I disagree with some things. Same with Ben as well. I think Ben, Ben's a friend of mine and a longtime colleague, but I'm not a referee or an adjudicator. What I will never apologize for is defending Jackson from being censored. And again, I find it strange that you're trying to engage in a debate with him through me. I'm not responsible for his views. Have him on your show. Why not?
Have him on your... That's the other thing. Like, you don't bring a guy like him on to comment on what other people said about someone who may or may not be you. Like, we interviewed Ben Burgess.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Did you hear what Mary said about Sally behind the bathroom? Well, so what's your opinion about it?
Right, trying to drag him into these beefs.
Little bitch Chihuahua motherfucker.
I mean, you're trying to drag him into these controversies that he probably doesn't want anything to do with because he might want to go on all these shows to get his journalism out there. Why would you try to force him to take sides in these stupid, petty fucking Twitter squabbles? Like, we had Ben Burgess on our show. He's much bigger than us. He was very, very nice to come on. You know, he's really out of our league. We have not grown to a point where we could expect a guy like that to come on our show. He went on Rogan like 2 weeks after he came on us, right? Yep. So it was really...
He was making the rounds, and I think he was on Morning Joe like the next day.
Morning Joe?
It was him. Oh, maybe it was...
No, you're talking about Stephen Marsh. Well, him too. But like... Ben Burgess is an online left guy. He had his book on Hitchens out. He was on Rogan a couple weeks after he was on our show. You know, that was a big get for us. And he was really, really gracious to come on the show. We talked for an hour, and it was fantastic. But I talked to him about the two things I promised him we would talk about before he came on, which is the Hitchens book and the Spotify canceling Joe Rogan thing, because he had a piece out about that. If I spring on him when he comes, okay, hey, Ben, did you hear what Cenk Uygur had to say about David Dole's criticism of Jimmy Dore for being too hard on Anna Kasparian? What do you think about that? He'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, and also in an accusatory way.
Right, in an accusatory way. Right? Like, why are you, why do you think it's okay?
You aligning yourself with
right,
the pro-Cenk faction.
Right, exactly.
Why are you pro-Cenk?
You try to drag him into this bullshit that he obviously has no interest in. And it's just so irrelevant. The whole thing is so juvenile. So much of the left now is obsessed with who talks to who. Oh, Glenn Greenwald goes on the Tucker Carlson show. Ooh, as if that's a charge against him. Oh, Aaron Maté had a nice thing to say about Jackson Hinkle, who had a nice thing to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is junior high school bullshit. This is not the pursuit of any political project whatsoever. This is just gossipy garbage. And that's the big point. That's really why I wanted to do this segment in all seriousness, was to highlight, like, this is the kind of shit that so much of the left is just obsessed with now. Who cares if Aaron Maté has a nice thing to say about Jackson Hinkle or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tucker? Who gives a shit? Who cares? This was not a phenomenon of the Bush era left, by the way. You would see leftists go on Fox News all the time during the Bush era and make their case. It wasn't Michael Moore went on Sean Hannity's show, right? Now, they argued. I understand that the charge against Greenwald is that he doesn't debate Tucker as much as he'd like, but Glenn goes on the Tucker show to talk about things
there to push his agenda.
Well, and also to talk about areas of agreement between himself and Tucker Carlson, right? On issues of abuses of the deep state, the wrongful imprisonment and torture of Julian Assange, right? This is the other problem, is that the left now has more sincerely in common with those Tucker Carlson people, because the Carlson people have moved, I don't even want to say left, but they've moved in an anti-establishment direction. Carlson was usually, he used to be this bow-tied motherfucker, just spewing neocon talking points on CNN. Now he at least speaks the language of an anti-war pundit, which you can believe him or not. You could take those comments in good faith or not. It's certainly a hell of a lot more than you could say for anyone on CNN, anyone on MSNBC. And so people on the left go on and they have a conversation. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Why are you so obsessed with this? The answer to that is because you cannot pursue an agenda of your own, because the left just doesn't have the tools in its box right now to actually pursue an agenda of their own and implement it. And so this is all now just reduced to gossip and bullshit. And that's what, I don't want to pick on, I don't like picking on children, but that's what the Vanguard show is mostly about. And that's what so much of the online left is mostly about. And it is completely paralyzing at best, counterproductive at worst.
Well, you can only afford this kind of politics if you have no real intention of ever building a winning coalition.
Exactly.
Or if you are so out of touch that you think that the people to whom this appeals can eventually constitute a winning coalition. And I'm here to tell you, neither is going to happen. This is not the way. Let's play out a little thought experiment here. Okay, so suppose you really are anti-war, right? You're anti-American imperialism. You need allies to actually do something about that. You want to one day see Congress vote down one of these constantly increasing military budgets. They're higher every single time than they were the time before. You want to see a vote like that happen? Who are your allies? Who are your allies? The Democrats? Because I don't hear any, not the Squad, not Bernie, not anybody. I don't see them taking a stand on Ukraine or talking about that. The only people I see taking those stands are people in the Republican Party.
Right, and they'll say, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene's only saying that to bash Biden. Again, who gives a fuck?
If she'll vote that way, it
a vote
matter.
Is a vote,
right.
you fucking child. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if Tucker Carlson means what he says in good faith? If Tucker Carlson implores Donald Trump in the last days of his Oval Office tenure to pardon Julian Assange, which he did, I could not care any less how much he means it or why he means it or whatever. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Let's put it very simply. If you had a senator who was literally a card-carrying member of the KKK, and he's the deciding vote for Medicare for all, do you not take his vote?
Right. Do you not take the vote? Right. It doesn't mean you like the person. It doesn't mean you endorse anything else about it.
It doesn't mean you align with their politics.
No. You take the vote. Right. Of course. You take the vote. Marjorie Taylor Greene votes against $40 billion of weapons to perpetuate a disastrous, horrific war that is slaughtering people by the minute, by the hour. You take the vote. You take the vote. Now, 2 degrees separated from that, do you attack the guy who coddled her, whatever this coddling means? Whatever the fuck you mean coddling? 3 degrees separate from that, do you attack the guy who coddled Marjorie Taylor Greene after she took the vote? I mean, this is a level of idiocy that just will not characterize any successful movement. Like, you can't have a movement function this way and win. It cannot happen. It will not happen.
Well, they live in a fantasy land where this is building. This coalition is building. The people who think this way are becoming more and more of the population. No, if anything, they're becoming less and less because of douchebags like you. Because people get one look at you guys and they run in the other direction.
I mean, maybe we'll be next on their radar because, after all, we are coddling Aaron Maté, who's coddling Jackson Hinkle, who's coddling Marjorie Taylor Greene. So we're now 4 degrees of separation away from coddling Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We're essentially coddling her.
We're basically
we're not just coddling her. We're cuddling her. We're spooning her. We're spooning Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Please clap.